what's in your mind, for you and for I. I'm trying to decide from the look in your eyes, yeah. I mean my signs, but your feelings inside you.
Let's get the cheers in.
The cheers.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Episode 8. Wow, 8 weeks. Holy shit.
8 weeks.
That's like 2 months.
We've been consistent.
We have been consistent. We've been building up momentum, which is something I want to talk about. Uncle Mo.
Is that the topic?
Uncle Mo, yeah, momentum. Okay. Because I've been like doing a lot of, I've finally been consistent. You know, I've been doing my power list every single day and building up momentum, which is making it like easier to execute on everything each day. You know, it's like if you have one day, like if you have one successful day behind you, it's not as easy to continue being successful compared to if you've had like 80 successful days. And I mean, I'm talking in terms of like me and Ryan do the power list. So I've crossed off the last like month and a half every day, like winning my day, getting my shit done every day. And so I was building up that momentum. And then today I took a day off from my day job. I've been saying day a shitload. Took a day off from my day job and I like didn't know what to do because that usually takes a huge chunk of time in the morning, you know? And so I knew we were going to practice and do the podcast and shit today, but still earlier today, I was just like, what do I do? I got to keep the momentum going. Oh my gosh, you know? So yeah, momentum is pretty crucial.
Yeah, I feel like what you said, like once you kind of get that momentum, things just get easier. Like it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the tasks don't seem as hard anymore. You kind of have it. It's like an extra like push that you have on your side that like really just kind of like, I don't know, it's weird. Momentum's like a weird thing.
I feel like it makes you realize that if you're doing the same thing over and over, like, you know, relatively the same thing, like every day you sing, you have like similar things that you do to try to like, you know, push you to achieve the goal that you want. And so for me, like I have a lot of the same things, like it revolves a lot around many of the same topics. So
I think momentum is like a special thing in the fact that like only some people are able to kind of like figure out like what it is. Like I think unless you're absolutely consistent with what you're doing every single day for like a certain amount of time, which I think that most people struggle with that, then you get to fully understand what it is.
Yeah.
Like I think like the normal person who kind of goes day by day and shit like that, like what are you talking about momentum? Like yes, there's momentum in life or whatever, but it's like nah, there's like a force that's like powerful,
that
like
keeps you going
when you really tap into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And once again, just like a lot of shit we talk about, it's kind of exponential. Like the more momentum you gain, the more consistent you are and you keep nailing all the shit that you want to nail, like the momentum builds up and it's like by a factor of 2, it just keeps going and keeps going and stuff. So yeah, but sometimes it can be hard to build momentum up. I think that's the whole root of it. Like I said in the last episode, we talk about a lot of the same shit. You know, it's like, how do you get momentum? By being consistent. How do you be consistent? You be disciplined and you work hard and, you know, you carry out the shit you gotta. So
that's the scary part about it because it's definitely hard to get it.
Yeah.
Going again. Like if you kind of get complacent and you're like, I'm going to take the weekend off or the week off or whatever. When you're killing it for like a long period of time and it's tough because yes, in the moment it seems like it's not a big deal. But then like when you try to get back into it after that, it's like you can feel that there's like a force that's like it's a little bit harder than 2 days ago when you were doing it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like if you're able to kind of like discipline yourself and fight through it anyways, like I feel like that's dope too. Like you can do that, but I guess like the key is to keep that momentum going as long as you possibly can.
How do you catch momentum? How do
I catch momentum? I think it starts in the morning. I think that you can gain momentum on a day-to-day basis. Like there's a long-term momentum and there's like a day-by-day basis momentum. So for me, like getting up in the morning and instantly reading my book and like writing my power list, I think that in itself is like a momentum builder. Because once you kind of knock those things off your task list like in the morning, like quickly, then now let's say you have 2 or 3 out of those 5 things done during the day. Now throughout the day, you may not want to do those other things, but because you're like halfway done, you're going to be like, well, fuck, I don't want to take the L after all that work I did this morning. So like, it's going to force you to like pull through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, at least for me, that's what works. But
yeah. Now I feel that. I think it starts ASAP, like you said, in the morning. So like from the second you get up, you can continually try to build momentum through your consistency, you know? And so on a day-to-day basis, I think like when you begin trying to have momentum and be consistent and do things, it's obviously going to fluctuate and it's going to go way up and down. Like for the most part, I think to build the long-term momentum, you just have to continually try to give things more momentum during your day-to-day things. So like you said, from the second you get up, immediately go on to the next task. God, there was something you said a long time ago. I can barely remember what it is, so I'm probably going to fuck it up. But like, if you I'm going to fuck it up. I'll wait till it comes to me. Yeah. But yeah.
The crazy thing about momentum that I've realized is like it's always working. So it can work against you or for you. So if you, it's like procrastinating, right? If you, let's say you have an essay for your school due like Friday, right? And you wait till Thursday night to do it, like that momentum is going to be strong. So that night you're going to be like, I would literally rather die than do this essay.
Yeah.
Right. But if you did it like earlier in the week and you kind of spread it out a couple hours a day or whatever, like that momentum is going to be on your side. Yeah. And it's going to be pretty easy to knock it out and do it. So I feel like the key is to catch that momentum early. That's why, like for me, like if I slack off and let's say I wake up and I don't start my power list till like 5 p.m. or something, like, but I woke up at 8 or 9 or whatever, it's going to be that much harder because your laziness only increases over time if you just put it off.
It makes it harder to even start.
Exactly. Yeah. So the momentum's always there. It could be bad momentum or good momentum. So it's like use it to your advantage if you can.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Uncle Mo. And that can apply to anything. Like this just doesn't even have to be, you know, towards like that goal. You know, we're always talking about like goals on the show and everything, but I mean that can be anything, even hobby related or whatever, even outside of the realm of like this huge goal that you're trying to achieve. I think if you can use momentum to your advantage and keep things going, whether you're trying to keep like a relationship going or just something else, momentum is super important. And I like how we're slowly like building everything out to kind of the key components of like success and everything. So it like starts with discipline. I'm sure there's stuff in between and before, whatever, but like discipline, consistency. Discipline, consistency builds momentum. What comes after that? Like what comes after momentum?
I think what comes after momentum is continuing to move forward with it and not getting complacent. Because I think once you have the momentum and you're disciplined and shit, like all you have to do is just keep doing that over and over for a long period of time, the monotony or whatever, and just keep doing it. But the moment that you start getting successful or things start working out and you start feeling like, oh damn, like I'm good, like I'm killing it, like
don't be satisfied.
You get satisfied and shit, then all of a sudden, you know, you're gonna take a little fall because, and I think that's what it means to be humble too. I think people get it confused and think like being humble is like being very shy and meek and like I'm not like afraid to be confident, but I think like really what humble is basically knowing that you're never done, you're never satisfied, you're always learning, there's always more to learn, and you're never like perfect yet. I think that's humbleness, and that's not the right word, humbleness.
Modesty.
No, it's like it's not humbleness, humility. Yeah. Humilius.
Humilius Maximus, yeah. Yes.
But I mean, would you agree though? Would you feel like that's like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that definition of humiliousness. No, but
Don't humiliate me.
The dad jokes are off the chain. Yeah, man. No, but I agree.
For sure.
I agree. And, you're not. Don't fucking talk when I'm gonna fucking talk, asshole.
You understand me?
You understand me? Go ahead.
No, I just want to shout you out real quick because I feel like we have different phases, right? Where one of us is like maybe a little bit more disciplined or more going harder than someone else, or like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like this past like week or two or month or whatever it is, like you have been like absolutely killing it. And like you have brought me up too, like because I've been going through some shit and like just really trying to figure things out and like also pursue what we're doing. And I think that really took like a toll on me. And I think that I needed like that kick in the butt a little bit to kind of get back up. You know what I mean? And that's to me like what a good team is about. Go to episode 4, team up with winners. That's what I feel like a good team is about, because, you know, as human beings, like, we're not always going to be perfectly, we're not robots. We're not going to be perfectly consistent, perfectly feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Perfectly momentum. But the cool thing about having a team is that when someone else is up and someone else is down, you can bring that other person up. As long as both people are like open to the fact of like, okay, he's being honest with me. You know what I'm saying? So
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, that honesty factor is like so crucial when working with a good team, because I mean, you like, dude, I think the greatest thing that anyone can do for themselves is learn to take constructive criticism. I mean, there was a time where like you know, and I think everybody goes through this, but man, I was just like, I did not take constructive criticism well. You know, it's like, who the fuck is this guy like talking shit to me? But it's like, dude, you really just got to put your ego down, especially if someone knows their shit and they're better at something than you are, and you can learn from them. You need to take their fucking constructive criticism, you know, and that just comes down to like listening. And just,
I would say the tough part though is like figuring out like if you should listen to that person for their constructive
100%.
criticism. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like when someone will tell you constructive criticism, you got to be careful and realize like, okay, now is that being honest, or is that their ego feeling like they need to figure something out to kind of like tell you how to do it to make them feel like they're in a position where they're kind of better than you, which is kind of a weird thing, but like I feel like that's like a deep thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the important part of like being on a team is like, okay, is having that trust factor, knowing like, okay, it's not our egos, it's the truth, it's the honest truth. And I think that's like the cool part about like having like a solid team, you know?
Yeah, totally. And like you're willing to take that constructive criticism from them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you trust it and everything.
And that shit stings.
Yeah.
It's just, it fucking stings. It cuts, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's one of those things where I think like it just takes experience to know like the truth and to know like that the other person's like correct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We've all been through that. And that's why I'm excited to get...
We still go through it.
I'm excited to get Sticks on the show.
Yes.
Sticks.
Next week he's coming.
Next week, Sticks, our creative director, choreographer, friend, amazing dude, is going to come on here. And Sticks, he tells it like it is.
Yeah.
But he's the guy, like the teammate who you love and trust, and you know that constructive criticism is good. You need that constructive criticism. So I'm excited to get into it with him next week.
It brings a whole new respect to like the relationship or the friendship. You know
I feel like it makes you realize that, damn, like this person's taking it seriously. Like they're willing to put like the friendship on the line and like say some shit because they care about what we're doing so much. Fuck, you know, like... So,
and would you rather have someone who is elevating you and telling you the truth to get you to the next level, or would you rather have a friend that's kind of like sucking the energy out of you and saying like, dude, it doesn't matter, like you can't stress about all this stuff, like all the details, they don't matter, like would you rather have someone like that and then you start believing them and then you start losing that greatness factor about you, or would you rather have someone else who's like bringing you up, even though it hurts, but it's still fucking taking you to the next level, you know what I mean?
Damn. I'd rather have the guy who's honest.
I wouldn't. I'm just kidding.
You're like, fuck that shit. I'm fine the way I am. Man. Sometimes I think super far into the future and I'm just like, okay, if I can keep up this momentum, things will be good. Because I feel like that's like, I don't think you should look into the future in a negative way, because it's very easy to get fixated on the future and think, oh, well, what if I keep doing this and it turns into this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If you're going to look into the future, look at it in a positive way. So for the momentum, and trust me, I'm a guy, like I'm thinking all the fucking time, just about all types of shit. From the minute I open my eyes in the morning, my brain is on like fucking 12th gear, just full blast going. If you're going to think about the future, think about it in a positive way. So you use the fact that you've been gaining momentum to your advantage and tell yourself, wow, what would happen in a positive way if I continued this momentum? The positives are like, boom, 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 boom. There's a huge list. The negatives, like nothing really. If you just keep being consistent and successful and elevating yourself to a new height, then in the future, it's going to be great. And I don't think there's even any negative things that could happen from that. Like, that's just dope. So when you frame it like that, because I know like creatives like you and probably the people listening and everything, ourselves, we will just think like a motherfucker and come up with stuff. So it's like, use that energy in a positive way and try to look at things through the lens of a positive outcome. Yeah,
definitely. And I think like looking to the future for positive things, I think that's also like partly delusion. And I think that's something you need to have. I think you and me are like somewhat delusional people because we're always thinking like next month something's gonna happen. Next month, like this person's gonna reach out to us or whatever. Like, and most of the time it never happens. But it's like that is the key, in my opinion, to like keep moving forward, to have that hope, because it just pushes you harder and harder and harder. And like, would you rather be in that state of mind, or would you rather think like, oh, like it'll be 20 years before something happened? Like, fuck that, dude. I'm not trying to think that way. Like, I'm trying to think something's happened tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I mean, in reality, it's probably not going to happen tomorrow. It might happen in 20 years. But to have that feeling about like, might happen tomorrow, that's the exciting part. That's what kind of drives you forward. So I feel like that delusion is key. And I read that in Russ's book too. Get out of your, what is it? Get out of your head. Get out of your own way, or get out of your head. It's a great book, but that was chapter 1. He was like, be delusional. Because he put out like 11 albums before he blew up, and like 90 singles or something like that on SoundCloud. Like, that's a lot of music, dude.
That's a fuckload.
And he said during that whole time he was delusional, and he thought album 1 he was going to blow up. But it wasn't until album 11, song 98, that something started really taking you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that delusion is like a crazy thing.
It's an amazing thing.
Because he said too, he's like, if I wasn't delusional and I knew it was going to take me 11 albums and 100 songs to blow up, I probably wouldn't be doing this shit. Like,
damn.
You know what I'm saying? So,
damn.
That really hit me when he said that.
That's crazy. I wouldn't even call it delusion. I would just call it like hope.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like delusion has like a negative connotation. I would just call it being hopeful.
Okay.
And, you know, having faith in what you do. But it's a healthy delusion.
Yeah.
You know, it's a healthy delusion. But yeah,
Definitely.
Going back to it, how are you going to frame it in a negative or a positive way? And if you can frame it in a positive way like that and just feel like you're on the cusp of the next thing, man, that's a great outlook, because that'll give you the kick in the ass that you need to keep going. And I feel like we're constantly on the cusp of something, dude. Like, I constantly feel like, I'm pretty sure like this month, like some shit's gonna happen. Like, and then the month goes by, and like sometimes some cool shit happens, sometimes it doesn't, whatever. But I feel like I'm gonna straight up say it. I'm gonna put it out in the air right now. I feel like we're on the cusp of some shit, dude.
No, literally.
With your fucking career and my career and everything. And let's update everybody.
Okay.
How's it been going? How has your career been going?
My career? I mean, to be real, I think that it's just a gradual rise.
Yeah.
I don't think anything crazy, nothing crazy has happened. It's all just been like a gradual rise of getting better, meeting people, putting out new music, gaining new supporters and friends and all that kind of stuff. It hasn't been like there hasn't been like big bumps, you know what I'm saying? Which is probably a better path, like a better way to do it. Cause then you can experience the ups and downs and learn and really garner your skills and everything. But overall, like, I've been enjoying it. Like, I think there's been a lot of hard times and a lot of hard situations and everything, but overall, like, it's been a cool journey. Yeah. So far. What about you?
That's what I'm so excited about, is I like that we can see the gradual rise. Yeah. Over the last few months, the difference between now and months ago, I can feel that and I can see that, which is what gets me so excited. And you're totally right, how nothing crazy has happened in the sense of, oh my gosh, this one big thing happened and we gained a ton of followers, or you for sure gained new fans, or we made money, this and that, whatever. But everything's just been steady up and to the right, and I like that.
And what was that? What was that Spotify picture I sent you the other day? It was like, I just dropped In Your Head on Spotify, my first Spotify song, and it was like 50 monthly listeners.
It was your Spotify, I think 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago in 2018, and you had 5 monthly listeners.
Or 5. Not 50. 5.
5. Yeah. It was 5 monthly listeners, yeah.
But then we're in a cool spot now, so.
Yeah, man. That's cool. You just got to be thankful for any bit of growth like that. Fuck. So, I look at that and I'm like, that's an accomplishment, man.
So update them on like your manager journey. Like, how has that been? Like, how you been feeling about it? All that stuff.
I feel more like a music manager than ever. I feel like an entrepreneur. I feel like I'm learning a lot of stuff and challenging myself too, which is good. I'm trying, like you said, not to get complacent, because for anyone aspiring to be a manager or someone in a role that isn't the main performer or anything like that, I think it can be easy to say, oh, I'm behind the scenes. You know, I stay low, like I duck low, like, and you can use that as an excuse to not put in work.
Yeah.
Sometimes the manager and the backup dancers and all the other people, whatever, the entire creative team, everybody, they might have more work to do than the actual artist.
Yeah.
But you can't downplay it because you're just saying, oh, I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the scenes. I'm not the one getting on stage.
Yeah.
So I realized that, you know, like months ago, maybe even a year ago, because I used to just kind of lay low and I'd be like, oh, I'm the manager. So, you know, if an opportunity comes, I'll handle it, whatever. But I never went out and seeked out opportunities and shit like that. So, yeah, it feels good. I'm constantly trying to put something every day on the power list that moves me forward as a manager. So whether that is learning a new tool I can use. And I look at my role as a manager not from the traditional sense. I look at myself as a record label. Straight up.
Yeah.
I literally just look at myself. I say, okay, I'm the CEO of a record label. I'm marketing Ryan's music. I'm trying to build up all my connections. And that's essentially what you do when you're coming up as a manager is you have your hand in every facet of the artist's career, which is fucking sick. So I you know, I'm your manager, but I look at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm this big overall kind of machine that's got its hand in all these little areas, and I'm trying to maximize the use of all the resources, and I'm trying to maximize our output.
What have you learned, like, as far as like a manager-artist relationship? That's like maybe kind of newer or whatever to you.
You just got to be straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit more difficult, some people would think, because you and I are tight homies. We were homies way before we even started this shit. Been best friends our whole lives. So I have to constantly tell myself to not let that get in the way of me being honest.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's easy because you're an honest guy. You take it well. You take the constructive criticism well. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is no matter what, if you're really serious about this, it's business. Yeah, it's business, and you got to be honest, and we're very honest with each other.
And we're not perfect with it either. Like, I feel like we'll have like certain times where we'll kind of argue on certain shit. Yeah. Over text or whatever, and it's just like, like whatever, we get kind of angry or whatever. But it's like, I think that's normal. But at the end of the day, like literally, I feel like the cool thing is, like, the important thing is to make sure like your team members and your relationship with each other is like so strong that like literally the next day, like, I like forget like about what we just talked. Like we just go back to like laughing and shit.
It's just another step in the process.
Exactly. So I feel like that's key.
What's crucial about that, don't get stuck in the fucking past on good or bad shit. Yeah. Don't get stuck in the past on something super negative that happened years ago and you're still dwelling on it. You have no control over that shit. Yeah. You have no control over that shit. It already happened. Positive things, it can be good to give yourself a pat on the back. I think you should recognize great accomplishments and great actions that you take, but don't live in the past. Yeah. That's where you get complacent and become satisfied with where you're at. So look at the past as something to be proud of and to learn from, but you got to constantly have a forward-thinking mindset and try to figure out how you can top yourself previously. If you got way up here a year ago, you want to be 10 times that this year, and you want to keep that going. Yeah.
I want to do a side note because it just popped in my head. Okay, so one thing that really kind of is weird to me, but it's like, it makes sense, but it's just like a weird thing, is like everything has phases. Yeah. And like it'll be a block of like 2 months or something, but then like you'll like feel like kind of like a different person in a way. Like I feel like a different person than like 6 months ago.
Dude, okay. Let me interrupt real quick. 6 months ago, we were on the school tour.
Okay.
6 months ago, we were on the school tour. I had blonde hair. Yeah. I had blonde fucking hair.
I was wearing European shirts.
Ryan looked like a European superstar who would get on stage and go, yeah, I'm here to sing for you. Yeah. You looked like a fucking European pop star really dance. With your Scott
what a
with your Scott Storch sunglasses and shit.
I still wear those.
It's different now though, because the look is different, and our mindsets were way different. Way different.
Or let's go back even farther. How about when we were dropping that 21 and Over album, and we at the listening party and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that was January 2019.
Yes.
When 21 and Over came out. We had just gone to Vegas for your birthday, right? in November.
Yeah.
We had just gone to Vegas for your birthday for your 21st, which was fucking badass, by the way. We got to go back there and
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I think our mindsets and just who we were, not only as people, but as professionals, people trying to build a career in the music industry, fuck, dude. We were way different. We were probably way farther off than we are now. And a year from now, we're going to say we're...
I think we were just as curious, though. Like, we're the same, like, with the drive. Like, we still had that in us. We just didn't have the experience and, like, the knowing, but... I feel like we still were curious. Like, we were still kind of... We had a work ethic.
Totally.
But we didn't have, like, a system with a work ethic. It was just kind of like, let's play it by ear. Like, we're still going to go hard, but it's like, we'll check it out and see what happens week by week. And, like, you know what I'm saying? But now I feel like we have a better system. But, yeah, we were just... we were pretty clueless, though, I think.
Everybody's system is different.
Yeah.
There is no one-size-fits-all to starting a business. Music artists. If you are aspiring to be a professional recording artist, performing music artist, world touring, record selling artist, you are starting a business. You're starting a business. Whether you want to admit that shit or accept it or not, you're starting a business. You are going to be providing, exchanging goods or services for money with a customer. That is a business, okay? Whether you're performing and that's the service or whatever, you're selling merchandise, you are a fucking business. So what I want to say, and the reason I'm emphasizing this so hard is because that's the biggest thing that we've had to learn is you need to treat it like a business in terms of everything, the money, the relationships, all of that, and understand. Entrepreneurs, there's no one-size-fits-all for starting a business. Every single business that is successful because of how unique it is and because it has a competitive advantage that's different and better serving than any other competitor. That's how industry leaders form. That's how businesses are successful. Now, there can be people that offer similar things. It's just like people are similarly going to be in your lane, but at the end of the day, you have to have this unique framework and business model and system by which you operate that makes you better than other people. So understand that the shit that you're doing is going to be different than what Ryan and I do. What works for selling his records and his merchandise and everything is going to be maybe similar to what you do, but it's going to be different in its own way. So there is no one-size-fits-all model. I just had to lay that out there.
Yeah, because you're kind of basing off different personalities, different music types, different strategies, different resources.
The brand is different. Even if I'm telling you, if there are two very similar artists, if you have two artists that are completely identical, they're not going to blow up because they're not unique.
Yeah,
that's literally how it is. That's how it is, you know. So, but I mean, even to go back to the question that you asked, what's the biggest thing I've learned? Fuck, I just thought of that. Excuse me. That's the biggest thing I've learned is that we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to figure out our own unique way to make things work. And I mean, Ryan and I have had multiple conversations with people from the industry who have told us, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you guys are doing. They would give us advice, but for the most part, it's like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. So now I'm like, okay, we're just going to keep doing that and figure out our unique way of being better.
And that's when I realized, like, when people say you just got to get discovered,
that's a load of fucking bullshit.
We just got to get discovered, and like,
that.
And people would take care of it for us and shit. It's like that. Like when people started telling us, just keep doing what you're doing. Like that was a sign to me that, oh shit, like you got to be doing this like consistently for a long period of time. There's not like a one moment that your life changes and boom, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's literally no overnight. Maybe there's anomalies and shit, but at the end of the day, like most successful businesses, they have done it consistently for a long period of time and built their business over time. Even like, okay, manufacturing a pop artist, like you know, there's industry plants, whatever the fuck people want to say. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that there's an artist whose parents are connected in the industry, they connect them to person A, B, C, whatever, and they're trying to manufacture up some wildly successful pop artist. Okay, that is the same as just building a business. You have to pitch the business and the brand to different people who will invest time, money, and other resources into it, and you have to continually build and grow and put some sort of service or product offering that has a great competitive advantage over everybody else. Fuck, I was just about to go way off on a rant. And it still takes work. Like no matter what situation you're in, it's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like if you're an artist who got picked up by a label and you know they're doing all this shit for you and funding you and everything, you still got to do all those 100 radio stations.
Yes.
And promote that. You still got to shoot that music video. You still got to you got to still do everything.
The perfect example is Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
People think that Scooter Braun discovered Justin Bieber and he blew the fuck up. But no, you can go research the real story and everything, but those guys met up and had to work their asses off, and they were plugged in with Usher too.
Yep.
And Usher is just like wildly, phenomenally successful. And you would think, oh, I'm plugged in with Usher, I'm gonna blow up. No. Those guys worked for years, right?
And he did school tours and everything in the very beginning and shit. So it's like
no one discovers you. If some guy discovers you and is like, come to the back of my van, I've discovered you.
I'm gonna wave my wand and I'm
gonna turn you into a pop star, or a rock star, whatever it is. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. You got to put in mad work.
Yeah,
mad work, dude.
And I mean, I guess someone can like co-sign you. Like, let's say Chris Brown was like, shouted me on Instagram, was like, this is the next kid or whatever. Yes, you probably get attention.
Yeah,
but now it's up to you to put in the work to like stay like on fucking board with it.
What do you do with that attention?
Exactly.
What are you gonna do with it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In my opinion too, if that happens and you don't have the experience to know how to keep attention and to keep putting out records and keep, making art, like that time's gonna pass very quickly.
He ain't gonna last. He ain't gonna last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the music industry is crazy, man. There's so many tools though. There are so many tools. Like even after just using all the SoundCloud shit that we've been using and stuff, like, dude, you'll find your channel, music artists and stuff. You may perform better on some channels than other ones.
Yeah.
You perform pretty good on Facebook. You've been gaining more followers and stuff on Facebook, and sometimes I'm like, man, we want Instagram to be popping off so much, but Facebook's going pretty well. Like that's
But then we got to remember that like
that's cool.
The majority of the world uses Facebook.
Yeah.
Like even though it's not
Billions.
like cool culturally, like it's still like
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the leader.
The leader, yeah.
For advertising, for everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a lot of good resources out there. I think that's another thing that I've learned too, just with the momentum building and trying to push myself to keep going. Do the resources out there for music? It has never been more affordable, and quote unquote. I'm not about to say easier. I was going to say easier, but there has never been less of a barrier of entry to becoming a music artist.
Yeah,
you can become a music artist, quote unquote, so easily. Touring stadiums and shit, that's a different story. But dude, to put your music out costs almost nothing. You can record in your fucking RV. You can collaborate with people on Quadio or fucking Sound Better or whatever it is.
But if something's given, something must be taken, right? So now you have all the access to do that, but now everyone does it.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of noise. Now you got to figure out how to get past that noise. But I would say that's a better opportunity than if you didn't have that opportunity, right? So it's definitely hard, dude. It's not. I mean, we both know it. It's like it's tough. It's
tough as fuck.
Very, 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 very tough. So, like nowadays, I feel like it's so tough that like most people feel like they have to do those crazy antics and like do those, like just crazy stunts and
sensational shit. Go
rob a jewelry store to get views, so that way like people can hopefully go to their song and like just shit like I don't know. I think that people feel desperate almost to really pop off, and that's kind of sad in a way, but. I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
What is the most important thing for building momentum?
I think the most important thing is the word now. Because I think, like I said, momentum can work for you or against you. And the more you put off, the more it's going to start working against you. Let's say you put off your project for a whole year. That's gonna be tough, dude. To get on, like, it doesn't sound like it would be tough, but when you're in the moment and you're feeling like your feelings are involved, like it's crazy. Like for example, like a family. Let's say a family started, and this guy felt like stuck in a full-time job. Was hoping he can start getting to the gym like every single day. but hasn't got a membership yet, and he's waited like 3 years and nothing's like, to make that leap to get that gym membership and start doing that consistently, like, dude, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot to do that. But if you do it now and you didn't make any excuses right away, like, you're going to start getting that momentum to build for you. And it's like, I don't know. It's a powerful force.
Hell
momentum.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's powerful.
Amazing. I love it.
What about you? What do you think?
The most important thing for building momentum? Discipline. Discipline's the root of everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm coming to realize is I'm coming to realize that as I experience my own lack of discipline. Honestly, okay. Like there are areas of my life where I just need to be more disciplined, and it'll really help me. But I'm glad I'm identifying those areas, because now I'm realizing, like, wow, okay, these are areas that I can improve. But yeah, man, it's just, I don't know how to define discipline. I'm not going to look it up or anything like that. But from what I can tell people is when you can make yourself do something at any point in time and you don't take no for an answer and you can just execute on things, that is an invaluable trait.
It's an invaluable trait, and it gives you a feeling where you kind of feel like unstoppable.
You're on top of the fucking world.
Yep.
The only opponent you have in life is yourself. All that corny shit you hear growing up, you're the only one stopping yourself. Never give up, champ. You know, all that shit that you hear is just so true. It's all the framework for and the foundation for being successful and all that type of stuff. It's the shit that we grew up hearing. And
I'm gonna steal an example from Andy Frisella's podcast, Real AF. I'm gonna shout him out because I don't want to just steal it. Like it's valuable. So he gives an example of his workers. They went to this like worker party or whatever, but they got to wear suits, like tuxedos, and so they all pulled up in tuxedos, and most of them never worn a tuxedo before, but the feeling they gave off after wearing that tuxedo was like they were just like confident, because they knew everything was perfect. Like my hair was perfect, my tuxedo was perfect, I feel good. Like when we went to like formal and prom and shit like that, and you're dressed like nice, like you fucking feel on top of the world, right? But his example was, okay, take that feeling. What if you can feel that every single day of your life?
Wow. And
he said the reason why they feel like that when we put on that tuxedo and you feel good is because you're paying attention to the details. And you know that everything is spot on. Everything is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like you know subconsciously like you're the shit, right? But so now if you take the standards that you hold for yourself on a day-to-day basis and you kill those standards every single day with no like you just kill all of it, you're gonna have that feeling. And it's crazy because most people never discover that.
Wow.
Most people never feel that. Maybe only once in a while when they go to a prom or they go to a dance or whatever. But to be able to create that feeling for yourself on a day-to-day basis, knocking out like your standards and shit, you kind of feel superhuman.
That's amazing. And
then you start giving off that energy, and that's when people, they take that aura from that person and are like, there's something about that person that's just like, fuck, like it's just like intimidating, but it's confident. Like I think of Nate James, I think of Sticks, like those kind of guys, and that's what it is. Like they're achieving the standard that they hold for themselves, and it radiates.
Yes.
And then it inspires the next person to do the same thing. That's fucking crazy.
They give off a vibe.
Exactly.
They give off a vibe.
Exactly.
Why do I feel baller as fuck after I get a haircut?
Dude.
Like after I get a haircut, my day is made. I'm just like, all right, cool. Yeah. I'm good. The fade is good. I look good. I'm cool.
I think it's the same thing.
Look good, feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so true though. I think confidence radiates.
Yeah.
Confidence radiates for sure, and other people pick up on that. Men, women, everybody. Everybody picks up on a confident person. And I think everybody wants to be confident.
Yeah.
But it's a lack of confidence that doesn't allow them to get it, you know?
Exactly.
It can be tough, and you're not going to be, at least I'm not 100% confident all the time in every situation. It kind of depends on the situation, but I'm trying to mold myself into a person who's just confident no matter what.
Dude, and I think that confidence is earned. I don't think that, you know, all the, I might get bashed or whatever, but all the self like help quotes and shit that you see online of like, I'm like, I'm good enough. Like, I'm who I am, and that should be good enough. And like, yes, okay, yes, like you should be proud of who you are, and you're unique in your own ways. But I don't think that you're truly ever gonna feel that true confidence in yourself unless you achieve the standards that you hold for yourself. If you know you should be going to the gym like 3 times a week because you're not happy with your weight or whatever it is, like, you're not truly gonna feel confident by saying, I accept myself like for how I look. Like, because you know in the back of your head, you could have done it. You could have done it.
You're missing out on some shit.
Exactly.
You're not showing up.
Exactly. So that's why like I don't preach the self-help quotes and shit. Like, they're cool supplements, but they're not the main thing. Like, the main thing is like you got to put action and execute into like what you know you should be doing to gain that confidence.
I think a lot of those quotes, the quotes obviously mean well, and that whole culture and movement means well, but it allows people to be satisfied with themselves even if they're in a bad situation. Even if they're, you know, super unhealthy or overweight or in some situation that they want to get out of, when you preach to people, hey, you're fine just the way you are, that's telling them that they do not need to change.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can change yourself for the better.
Exactly.
It's pretty simple. Sometimes you can change yourself for the better. So if you know that you should be in better shape, or you know you should be performing at your job differently, or showing up to something, in the simplest terms, you're not showing up to something, I don't think you should be satisfied with that.
Exactly.
No.
And like me, for example, right? Like, I was kind of like very skinny, like not muscular and shit. I'm still working on it. Like, I'm still trying to get better, but yeah, exactly. But it's like, would I rather say, oh, like, I'm good how I am. Like, I'm skinny, but it's like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or I'm going to get the muscles that I want, and I want the look that I want. And once you get it, it's like, fuck, I did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not there yet, but like, I'm still on that path. Like, I still feel good on a day-to-day basis of like, I'm going for it, and I'm changing myself.
You're achieving what you set for yourself.
I'm changing my style, my look to where I really want for myself. I'm not just content with how I am. And like, that confidence just like starts elevating. It's like a whole nother experience.
Something hits different about like going to the gym and achieving fitness goals.
It does, yeah.
I never thought I would be so into physical fitness and stuff like that. And I'm not jacked. I'm not in amazing shape or anything, but I take my health relatively seriously, and I work out consistently, and I like to push myself physically in the fitness realm. And I have a lot of fun doing that. And I never thought I would be into that shit, but I lift probably 6 times a week. I exercise probably 5-6 times a week, depending on what it is, and I stretch. And there's something about seeing yourself change physically, because you can feel like a personality change and mental change and stuff like that. But when you can look in the mirror and you look different and you look more like the type of person that you want to be, that's a fucking amazing feeling.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
And then that feeling applies to everything else you do in your life.
Yeah.
The people you talk to, like, it just radiates, and like subconsciously, we're getting deep or whatever, but subconsciously it just like, it changes you.
It does.
It's crazy.
It does, man. I really want to start training my neck.
Yeah.
Just do a bunch of neck ups at the gym.
I feel that.
Get a huge neck. No, yeah. Man. Momentum is key, bro. Hey, I appreciate all the insight and everything.
Of course, guys.
If I'm going to talk to anyone about momentum, it's you. Because you be on that shit daily.
Call me Uncle Mo.
Episode 8, fuckers. Peace out.